Hi, good day to you, whatever time you're watching. You're welcome to yet another tutorial. This tutorial will be making a padded blouse with opening at the front. So I'll first take my shoulder measurement, which is 6.5. My shoulder measurement is 6.5. Then I added half inch for the joining of the sleeve, making 7. So that's why I'm using 7 there. So I mark out my 7 inches on the shoulder pad. Then my neck width is 3 inches. So I also mark out the 3 inches. Then from that 7 inches, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then I'll draw a line from that 1 inch to the shoulder to the neck point. Yes, now from the neck point, from that shoulder, I'll come down to measure my armhole. My armhole is 8 inches. You just divide your measurement, your bust by 4 and minus 1.5. You get your armhole, or you measure it yourself. So I'll draw a straight line down. After drawing a straight line down, so just to get my right armhole, then I'll take my bust point measurement, which is 10 inches. Then my under bust is 13 inches, while my half length is 15 inches, but I added 16 inches. I use the 1 inch for sewing allowance to join it to the skirt part of the gown. Now I'm drawing a straight line to guide the cutting. So okay, so I'll have to label it as half length. This is my half length, my under bust point. Yes. Then I'll come to my shoulder, get the center of the shoulder, which is 4. Then from there I'll come in by half inch for the armhole depth. So from that half inch, I'll connect a curve to the shoulder to form my armhole. So I'm trying to connect a curve here. Then I go. Okay. So I form a curve to get my armhole. Now the armhole is ready. Then from that point, I'll take my dart line. My dart line is bust to bust divided by 2 plus half inch for sewing allowance. My bust to bust is 7 inches divided by 2, that's 3.5. Then I added half inch for the sewing, that's why I measure 4 inches there. So from that 4 inches, I measured it throughout. Then I drew a straight line to connect them together. Then I'll come to the bust point. I'll come up by half inch and come down by half inch. The reason is because I don't want the line to just come sharply on that bust point, to make it easy to curve. Then I'll come to under bust and take half inch in, 1.5 inch out. I'll do the same thing on the half length too. I'll take 1.5 inch out, then half inch in for the darts. So I drew a straight line to connect them together. Then I'll have to connect the bust point to the under bust using a curve. So connect it like this and do the same thing for the other side to connect the bust point to the under bust using a curve. Make sure that your curve is not too sharp. Is forming is giving that bust shape. Then I'll connect the line from the armhole, for the mid of my armhole, to the bust point again. So I'll connect it this way. And after connecting, remember that we took out 2 inches from here, so that 2 inches we took from the on half length, we are going to take it out also from the armhole, but we are going to still replace it back so that the armhole will not be shorting. Now you connect the 2 inches line to the bust point again. Now you are going to replace back the 2 inches you are taking out from the side on that line. So the 2 inches has been replaced back this way. And when you replace it back this way, you form a new armhole curve here. A new armhole curve is formed here. After the new armhole curve is formed, try and blend it in so that it's not looking so sharp, and then you can see that this part is a bit sharp. Then you have to use your curve to shape it, or you just use your hand and make sure that you curve it. It's giving a kind of bust curve, not pointed curve like that. Like, so you use your hand to shape it out. Yes, it's now looking correct. Yeah. So at this, now I have to take my bust measurement, which is 36 divided by 4, which gave me 9 inches. Then I will add my sewing allowance, which is 2 inches, to the line. Yes. Then I'll come to my under bust too. My round under bust is 30 32. So 32 divided by 4 give us 8. Then I added the 8, and I'll add 2 inches for the sewing allowance. These 2 inches that was, because we are cutting out these 2 inches, we have to replace it back. So that's what I added at the other side. I will do the same thing for the waist. My waist is 32, that's 8. Then I will add 2 inches sewing allowance. These 2 inches will be cutting out, we have to return it back there, so it's added back to the waist. Then I will connect the lines together to the bust point, from the bust to the arm, then to the hammer also. Then form a straight line to connect the point together. So at this point, this is how you cut out your princess cut. Your princess cut is ready. You are cutting the princess cut. So now the neckline, depending on how deep you want your neck to be. So here I'll be making use of, at first I used 3 inches and I thought to be too high. Then I later change it from 3 inches to just draw 3 by 3 and curve it out like this. So see this way I was changing it, that 3, then I later use 3.75. There's 3.75. Then I connect to form a curve that way. So when you connect to form a curve, our blouse, our princess cut, this pieces that is ready. Now it's time for us to connect our lines together. The curve at the front here. So from the half length, I'm going to connect this 0.25 with half inch at the under bust, 0.25 for the half length, then 0.5 at the under bust. Then I'll form a curve using my fresh curve from the armhole, from that armhole that we cut, from the mid of the armhole. Then I will just use it, that curve, to connect that line. If you want your own to be more curvy, you can be creative with it. You can just make it more curve, and this part very tiny, depending on your desired shape. So I just use the armhole curve to connect it together that way, and at that point we can now cut it out. So just wash out the part I'm cutting out to know the part that is needed, so that you don't cut the wrong side out. So this is going to represent the lace part. Okay. Then remember this part. So when you're that's going to be our center. That's where we're going to use to replace the lace. And now it's time to cut out the two sides. So here is our pattern. We are done cutting them out. These two sides will be joined together, so and the center will be replaced with a lace fabric. I'm going to cut out the material to show us. Now I've placed the center on the lace like this. So I'm going to cut out. I'm cutting out. Now I've cut out. Well, I don't need to add any allowance to the lace that we are going to be using. Now when you are cutting this part, make sure that you pin yours down. I was having issue here because I didn't pin it down and the paper was moving up and down. This is not supposed to be, because it will not make your measurement accurate. So when you are cutting yours, try and pin it down. And while cutting, you notice that I have to leave out pieces around the side so that I can use that part for joining. And I cut out 2 pieces of those same fabrics, because I'm using the same lace to turn the neck. So I cut out 2 pieces for the neck. Now we've gotten to the sleeve part. For the sleeve, the total measurement, the sleeve measurement, because it's going to stop at the ankle, is 22, and I removed 7 inches up for my shoulder. Then the remaining is going to be used as your hemming or folding allowance for the hem of the sleeve. And depending on how wide your sleeve is, I have 17 inches, or how wide your material is. So if you want it more fuller, or you don't want it to be full, just reduce that 17 to whatever you want. Then at this point, I just make a large curve, armhole curve there, because we are going to be gathering it. So just cut out the armhole, the large armhole like that. Then notch the center to know where to fix what when you start sewing. So when you gather it at the shoulder part, this is what you're going to get. And at this point too, you fold, you pleat that side too, then you get that puffy effect of the sleeve. Now let's come to the down part, the gown part, the flare part of the dress. You know, our total length for the gown is 58. If the total length of the gown is 58, our half length is 15 inches. So we've already cut out the 15 inches, so we have to minus it from the 58. Then we have 43 inches left. So the skirt part is going to be 43 inches. Now the waist measurement is 34 inches. 34 inches, depending on the range, on the type of flare you are cutting. I'm cutting 180-degree flare. So I'm going to add 2 inches to the 34 inches for my zipper allowance, which is going to give me 36 inches. Now 36 inches divided by 3.14, because I'm using 180-degree flare. If I'm using 360-degree flare, I'm going to use 6.28. So 180-degree flare, I'm going to divide it by 3.14. So 36 divided by 3.14 gave me 12.7. We are going to add now. That 12.7 is going to be our radius for the skirt part. Then, depending on how the length we want our skirt to be is 43. I'm going to add that 43 to the 12.7, so that I will be able to fold my fabric rightly. After adding it, I got 55.7. So that means I'm going to be folding 55.7, which help you not to waste time of waste fabric. You just know what to fold. So here I'm going to measure 55.7 on a straight line, that way 55.7. Then after measuring 55.7, I'm going to fold it into 2, because we are going to fold everything into 4. So I'll first measure 55.7, let's say approximately 56. So approximately 56, let's just use 56. Then I'll fold it at that point into 2. This is the first folding into 2. You first fold it into 2. Watch carefully, it's not difficult. So after folding it
So this
into two,
57, 56. No, it's 55.7. So this is 56 folded. We are folding it into two this way.
fold it into two this way.
So I
Then
folded it into two. Now I can cut off the excess fabric here.
okay. So I'm going to cut out
Now
the
my
excess from
52
there
is
because
folded
I
in
folded it into two
57.
and I have
56 is
some
folded
excess.
into two.
So I'll cut out
At
the
this point, I'm
excess
going to
from
try
there.
and form a triangle like this. From here,
Now I've cut out
I'll
the
form a
excess. So this is
triangle
my
with
fabric
this
folded into
52.7.
two. We said we are still going to fold it into four. Now to get the
So
fold into four, you are going to form a triangle this way. Now
now
we have it
let me
folded
erase this part.
into
I will
four.
have to
So you
put it
see,
on the ground so
just
that
lift it up to form a triangle like this. Now our fabric is divided
you can see
into
that the fabric is
four.
not getting
Sorry, the
up to
table
this
is too
part.
small to
So here we have
accommodate
to
the whole
join
fabric,
the
so I have
part.
to be moving it
The
up
fabric
and
will not
down.
get to this part. So
Now that the
we
fabric
have
is
to
folded into
join
four, you notice that
here
at the
to
end
meet
here,
to
the
make it
fabric is
up
not
to
getting,
get
at
to
this
this
point here,
part.
the fabric did
So
not get to the end.
let's go to
So
the
we have to
floor
join
and
it
cut
here.
so that I can show you.
At this point, we are going to join another fabric
This is how
to
I
it
did
to
it for
make
me.
it
At
complete.
first, I have
So
my
before we do that, we have to cut out
this is
so that
my
we don't waste
57.
fabric. We have to bring it to the ground.
I did
Now I've
57
placed it on
like
the
this,
floor so
folded
that the
into
camera can
two
capture
first.
everything, and so
Let me
that
put it
to
on the
be
ground.
easy for me to
So I
see.
folded into
Now I'm
two.
showing you how I folded it into two again. I mean,
After
we measure
into
56
two, then
long,
I
then you
flip
fold
it
the 56
this
into
way.
two along your French edge. After folding into
Folded
two,
it this way to give me
then
this
you now form the
triangle
triangle. See
shape.
the way I'm going to
Let's
lift,
do it.
just move from the
So now
end
that I have
of
gotten the
one of
triangle
the
shape,
fabric
I'm
to
going
the
to
other end
measure
this way.
my
You fold it into two like that. Then after folding it into two, you can now
so
start
now
taking your
from this
measurements using your
point here, I'm going to measure
total
my
length. Remember that our total length was
57, 56. No, we have
56,
55.7.
approximately
I did my
56.
56.
So from the
Now
tip of the fabric, you place your tape
so
rule
that I
at the
can
tip of the fabric here
measure
and you measure 56 downward.
my
So
56.
that 56, you are going to measure it
You make sure that the tape is still
round,
at that end.
and you move your tape. The tape will still be at the tip there. You move at this, you make sure that yours is straight. This part, if it's not straight, so that you don't get the wrong measurement like that, you measure 56 round. Keep moving your tape and make sure that the tape is at the tip of the fabric here. Yes, so that you can get the accurate measurement. Like, keep on measuring your 56 round.
56. So,
So
so I'm joining the lines together.
then you connect the dotted line together. After
Then
that way, you connect them
at the point here,
together to form
I'm
a
going to
curve.
measure my
It's not
12.7.
straight.
No,
So after
12.7. So I'm
doing
measuring
that,
7,
connecting your lines together, you come to the
7. Can I
top
bring my
to
shoulder
measure your your
to this
waist
place?
radius. No, we got
7. So these
12.7.
are
So you measure 12.7 round here also.
these are our waistline.
So
Why do you see it
12.7,
down
measure it round. I'm trying
length
to
here?
take
Wait.
take in the shock so that it
Okay.
can be very obvious. I
So
believe we can see this. So
let
you
me
measure
so
12.7, and
palette.
the next step is
Can
just
you
to
see the gown
cut
length
it
here?
out, cut the upper
So
part
this is
and
our
the
gown length here,
lower part out.
like this. And you can see that this place there is no fabric here. I'll have to cut it
So I
out
brought it
and
up so
join
that
this
it
part.
can be very
So let's
visible.
cut out first before we
Now
get
you
to the
can see this down part, that line part is not, yes, that part is not complete, it's
so
not up to, so we have to join a
cut it
fabric to
out.
that
Just remaining
part to make it complete. Extra fabric will be cut at that point to complete it. Now I've cut it out. After cutting it out, this is the way it's going to look. Here now I'm going to join a
Now
fabric
to
at
cut
the
the
end
back,
there.
I'm first going
So
to draw
the fabric I
the
first
zipper
cut out wasn't
allowance
getting to
round.
that point.
Yeah,
Then later I cut a new one that, so from there you just trace out the line and cut them
yeah.
out to join it at that point. So it
So
has been joined. The next step now is to cut the back for the gown. Now I'm first fold it into the back
this
of
is
the
going to
upper
be my
part.
zipper allowance.
Then I take
Then
my
the
zipper
last
allowance. My zipper
length, the
allowance
upper
is
half length is
1.5. Then
16
I'll
plus
first
the
mark out my
I've
zipper
added the sewing
allowance.
allowance to it. It's supposed to be
After marking
15.
out
I've added
the
1 inch to make it
zipper
16.
allowance, which is
So
1.5, then my half length is
now
16. Remember I said it's
my
15, then we
shoulder
had half
is
1 inch for the sewing allowance, making 16. So I mark out
7
the 16
plus
inches.
half inch for
Then
sewing
after marking out the
allowance.
16 inches,
The
then I roll
neckline
it
3,
out. So you
neck
roll
depth which
out
is
your
3.
fabric. So now I'll come to the
So here
shoulder.
I'm
From
going
the
to come down
shoulder
by
I
8
will take my
inches.
shoulder measurement, which is 7. Don't forget it's 6.5, but I added half inch for sewing the sleeve to it. Then my neck width, which is 3 inches.
So
Then
I'll
also
just for
come down
my
by 1 inch
armhole
and
here.
form a shoulder slab slant for shoulder slant. Then at this
Good.
point I'll come down
Then
by
I'll
8
measure my
inches for
bust,
my
which is 9 inches
armhole line.
plus 2 inches
So
sewing
here is my
allowance, making
armhole line, the 8 inches.
11.
Then I'll form
So
my armhole, make a curve on the armhole
11
line there to form my
inches here.
armhole.
Then
After that I
from
take
here I'll
my
form a slant to my
bust measurement, which is
armhole.
36 divided by 4, 9 inches. 9 inches plus
Then I'll
2
just make
sewing
a
2 inches sewing allowance give us
yoke curve
11 inches.
from the zipper
And
allowance to
I'm going back to join
here.
the shoulder
And
sleeve,
for my
shoulder,
waistline,
shoulder slant. I mean,
my waist is
now
8
I'll form
inches.
the neckline curve.
This
You
8
can
inches. I'll
decide
add
any
1
type
inch
of
for
neck you want. I just want a U
that allowance, then
neck,
2
a U
inches for
cuff neck.
sewing,
Now
making 11.
come
So
back
I'll
to
connect the
the
lines
waist.
together like this to this. So
At the
here
waist
I'm going to
I'll
come
take
in by
my
half
waist
inch.
measurement 32 divided by 4, that's 8.
Then
Then I took 1 inch for the that allowance, which is 9. Then 2
I'll
inches
form a
plus
slant.
for
So
sewing allowance, make it
I'll
11.
cut
Then I
this out.
connect the line to the bust part, and at this bar zip side I'm going to come in by half inch, so that
Back
it will
bodice.
prevent my dress from bulking out, budging at
These are
that back.
back
So I
bodice.
slant it
And
up, the half inch
I'll
you
go ahead
slant
and
it up
cut our
there.
zipper
So
allowance.
I cut them,
Abi
I
our
cut it
lining.
out, and
Now I've cut out the upper bodies. You can see cut it here.
can see
I have to
it's
leave
ready.
half
Now the
inch
next step
all through
for us is
here,
to cut out lining
joining.
for all the
I
fabric
left
we've
half
been
inch
cutting
here,
since.
and
So I've cut
for
out
the side
the
too
fabric. When I was
I
cutting it
left
out, I left half inch round at the
this the main.
part I'll be
I
joining,
left half
so
inch
that
on both
I'll be able
sides
to
from
use it to
here
join
and
to the other
here.
side.
So
Yes,
I'll
I
go
left half
ahead,
inch,
attach
and the
my
center
wording
too. I
to
also left
this
half inch
and
round it.
also
You
this.
can see
After that,
half
I'll
inch.
come back
I
and
left half
show
inch
us
both
our next
at
step.
the front and at the back.
And
Now,
I've also cut out
so that I'll
lining
be
for
able to
the
join it to the
back
fabric. I've
also.
cut out the
I will sew it and
materials
show
and
us next
the
step.
lining
Okay, now I've
here.
attached
Then
stay
I have to go
to
and
the
attach
lining,
a stay
and
and wording
on the main
to the fabric.
fabric
Here
I
I've cut out
attached
the lining
wording
for the
to the main fabric.
pack
So I'm going
also.
to sew it this way,
So I've
these
attached a stay
parts
to the
together like
lining.
this. I'm going to
Then
start from here.
I'll
I'm going
attach
to place it
wording
like this, sew
to the
and
main
sew,
fabric.
then
See, I've attached wording to the main
sew.
fabric.
Hope you are
So
seeing.
what I'm going to do now, I'll
Then
first join
I'll
the
sew it down to this place,
fabric
make that
together
curve.
at that point.
I will sew
From the down
this
part
one like that. I
you
will sew
fold,
this part
then
also
join your curve
like
that
that.
way.
Then I'll do the
As you're
same thing
sewing,
for the
you
lining
sew
too.
curve, don't make it straight. Then you
This is
sew
the
till you
lining.
get to the tip.
Okay, I'll just place
You do
it
that for
like
both
this.
sides. You
Then
do it for the other side
I will
too.
sew
You place your fabric gently and
round like
you
that.
sew
So I
the
will
same
do the
thing
same thing
for
for
the
the
lining
lining.
also. Whatever
And
you're doing
for
for the main
the
fabric, you do also to
lace
the
here,
lining.
I'm going to turn the neck. Yeah, I'll place the neck. I'll sew and turn it. After turning, I'll sew it, then I will turn it over and sew the ends and come back to show us the next step. Now I've sewn it. You can see it poking out like this. Then I'll sew the two sides this way. Then the lining also the same way. I see the lining the same way I make the front is the same way I make the lining. Good. Now I have fixed this lining to the back and I've ironed out the dart line. So I'm going to be sewing the dart line from here. I'm going to be sewing the dart line from here downward,
lining.
and the same for the left side too.
The back
So
also
to
I've
sew
attached
this
the
upper
lining, then I've
part,
pulled out the
I'm going to
dart
take my
allowance where I'll be sewing my
after sewing it, I
darts.
have to hold
I'll
it
just
down
sew
at
the
the
darts
at the
for the
side.
back
I'm going
from
to
that
hold
point, from
take
7
this like
inches
this,
downward.
then I'm going
I'll
to
sew
sew it
my
half
darts.
inch.
I'll do the same thing for
You can
the
see half
second
inch
side
this way.
too. Now let's
I'm going to sew it with half
go
inch.
on. At this
I'm
point now
going
I'm going to
this way,
place my lace. Look at
this way,
it gently. I'm going to
this
place
way.
my lace
Till I get here,
like
this is the end.
this from
So
the end.
after
Then
sewing
after
that,
from placing it
I
from
will
the end,
flip it over
I'm
and
going to sew it
also sew this
round
other
that
side
way
too,
till
a
I get
half
to
inch
the
round like that. Now come
tip
back and
there.
show us.
Yes.
Now I've
So
attached it to it this way. You can see
I'll sew the first one like
round
that.
like
Then I'll
this
also
and on the
sew
on both sides.
the second
Then
part. So I'll take the second
yes,
part
how
like
the
that.
front will look like.
Then I will sew and
Yes.
keep
Because
moving
it's
till
light,
I
so it's
get
not
to the
holding it firm. It's
end.
supposed
I'm
to
done sewing it.
stand
Can
like
see, look at
this.
it the way
And
it
I'm
came
going
out.
to cover it up with the lining.
Now at
At
this
this
point,
point, if you don't want your cleavage to be showing, if you don't want a net, you can just use, you can put a lining, you can fix a lining somewhere here to cover it up. Me, I don't want my cleavage to be showing, so I'm going
you
to
can see
cover this
that
part
fabric is
up.
looking very
I'm
pretty
just going to
here.
get small
Then at
lining
this
of the
point
same
now,
color
I don't want my
and place
cleavage to be showing
it
because
here
it's
because I
net.
don't want my cleavage to
I
be
want to
showing.
put a lining. I'm going to
So
cut out a piece
after
just to
placing
cover
it,
that side.
then
It's
you
optional.
go
If
with your
you don't mind, you can leave yours like that.
lining.
But
This is
for
your
me,
lining.
I have to cover
You're
that
going to
part up.
start
I can't
from here
wear a clothes that
like this.
will be revealing my
You turn it like this
cleavage. So yeah, I have to
and
cut out a piece of
you sew
lining to cover that place up.
round. Let's
So
use this
next thing is to sew our lining to the main fabric. I'm going to show you. From you fold your fabric
like
in like
this
this, then you
and
place your lining
start
the
sewing
wrong
from here
side
also the
also,
same way. You
place
follow
it
the
on it
line
that way.
that the stitch that you
And
have at first, then you sew
okay,
it
let's do
this
the
way,
other side so that
this way till continue
this way
following
you take
the
your lining
curve
and you place it
till you get to
from
this
that
point
end, the
also.
same line you
So
sew
you do the
your
same thing for the other. After
lace
doing
to
that, you
the
flip it over.
fabric.
When you
That
flip
same
it over,
line you
you have your
follow it
lining.
and
So let
sew
me do
your
that and come back and show
lining
us.
to the
So I've cut out this
fabric
small
also that way,
lining
round like
just to
that.
help me cover
And
up the
after
cleavage. I don't
sewing
want my cleavage to be showing.
at
So the
the
same
edge,
way
you
I sew
flip
this
it
to
over.
this,
Then you
so
do
the
the
same
same
way I'm
thing
going
for
to
the
sew
left
it
side too.
to this.
Left side
Then
too.
I'll cover it up with the lining
And you are
at
good to
once
go.
too.
So
Just
yeah,
place the
this is
lining on
little
top like
pieces I
this
cut
and
out
sew
for
around
the
so that you
lining
just
that I
cover
want to use to line the
the
part that is revealing. So I'll just sew it the same way I
cleavage
sew
for
the
me. I
lace
don't want
to
any cleavage
the main
revealing.
fabric.
If you
That's the same
get,
way I'm going to
so
sew
you can see
this.
that it's not
If I have
showing
sewn it like
anything here
that,
now.
then I'll
So I'll
also
go
use the lining to
sew
cover
the
it
lining
up
and come.
the same
I
way.
finally attached the lining
Just
to it this way. You
look at
can
it
see.
gently. So you
Then
can see that that
I'll
part
have
is
to
already
notch
covered.
this side so that it can relax.
Then
I notice that it's not relaxed after flipping it over. So all the cuff area, just notch it a bit and be careful not to
so I'm
cut
done. I've sewed
it
the lining
open.
to it,
So when you
and
notch
at that curve side you have to
to
notch it
make
so
it
that it will not,
relax.
so that it can sit well. It will not be puffing out,
See?
or you, you can even trim the excessive way. It's better you trim them off. So just
And
notch it gently.
the other
Be
side
very
too.
careful so you don't poke your
You have
sewing
to
and you
notch it
have to
to
start
make
sewing
it
all over again.
relax, and
So
then we iron it.
I
It's
notched
the
that part
best
to
thing.
make it relax.
like this part that is poking out, just to know the excess.
Do that for both sides also.
So now I'll just turn it this way to finish the
And cut off the excess at the edge.
so it's relaxed now. Then I'll flip it like
Now,
this to finish the
next thing is to
lining
sew
part
the lining to
and
the
sew
side.
this
So you
way. I'll do
just,
the same thing for the other
that way
side
it
too.
is, you just turn it
Okay,
over.
now it's ready. I've turned the side, so looking at it from inside neatly like this, then
So
from the
the front
outside.
is almost
So
ready.
I will
Just
attach the
turn your
sleeve
fabric and your lining
to it now.
over like this. Then you
I'll take
sew down
this like
to
this,
attach
then
your
I'll flip
lining
it
to the main
over
fabric. Now everything is ready. I've sewn the two sides and the back
and
too
glue it
is
like
set
this to cover
to
it
the
up.
front, looking neat and
Then
pretty.
sew.
Good. Then you
I'll
now
sew
place
like
your
this. I'll do the same thing for
back
this was other
on your
side
front
too.
shoulder. Join the
Then
shoulder
come back to
together
show us next.
and
Okay, I've
flip
attached the
it over
back
the
to the
lace
front now.
that way, and
So
you sew.
the
Make sure that is
next
well
thing to
placed
do is to fix
gently.
our sleeve.
Now I'm
So I'm
placing
going
it.
to take our
I'll
sleeve that
sew
we
it
cut
that way. I'll do
earlier.
the same thing for the other side
So the
too.
next thing is to fix our sleeve.
Then
Remember this sleeve that we cut earlier.
I'm done with
So I'm
that. I
going
trim
to
off the
start
excess
sewing
on the
from
shoulder, on the
here
arm hole,
without
the excess
pleating.
lace on the arm hole.
Then when I get here,
Now the next thing is
I'll
to
start
attach our
gathering
sleeve
the
to the
excess. I'll
upper
gather
part.
the excess
So
we
to
are
attach
having
the sleeve, we
on
are going
this
to
side,
start from
gather
the
it like
armhole.
this,
From the
gather it thus.
armhole side, I'm going
You
to
see, I'll gather it. Then when I get here, I'll
sew till I
just
get to the lace.
sew
When I get to the
straight.
lace
I'll not
part, I start
gather
gathering
again. I'll just so
the
the
excess
gathering is going to
fabric
be
around
around
that
here.
part.
Now I'll do
Gather
the
it
same thing
like
for
that.
the other side.
Gather it like that.
Then
Don't
at the
forget the
hem of the
notch at the
sleeve
center.
here,
That notch at the center, you watch out
at
for
this
it and make sure
place,
that it's also at the
I'm
center of
done
the shoulder.
attaching the
And you continue
sleeve to
gathering until you
the
get to the,
cloth. You can see the
when you
way
get
I
to the
gather it
half
around the
midway
shoulder
also,
part
you
here
stop and you
on
sew
both sides.
straight
Now
like this way.
at this
Then
lower part of the sleeve,
I'll
you
do
have
that
to
for
pay
both
attention.
sides
I
and
have
come
to,
back to show the next step.
okay, I can
Same thing you do for
just
the right side, you
turn
also
it
do it
this
for
way.
the
Then
left
I
side.
have to fold
Good, we
this
are
place because I
looking at
have a
it after
fresh edge
attaching
there,
the
so I
sleeve
won't
to
be
it, after
bending
gathering
it
it
twice.
to
Then I'll
the
start my
fabric.
pleat
Now
like it's going to be a
and
key
see the
split
next thing now is the
here,
hem of the sleeve.
and
The
it
hem
will
of the
come
sleeve
here.
is a pleated sleeve, so
So
I'm
I'll
going to
continue
fold
doing this until
the
what
sleeve
I
into
want to get is
two.
my
I'm
round
going to fold it,
sleeve,
I mean I'm going to
and
fold
my
it
round
by
sleeve is
2 inches. Then
10.
from that 2 inches
So
I'll
I'll do
start
this
pleating,
key
and it's going to be
split
a key
till I
split
get
the way it is
10
pleated here. So I'm going to
like
pleat it
this.
like this. As I continue pleating until I
Okay,
pleat the whole fabric.
excuse me.
Now when I'm pleating, my aim is to get
Yes.
10 inches because my round sleeve is 10 inches. So I'll pleat till I get to 10 inches. If you are
Come
pleating yours,
to
some,
it
if you
again.
like, you can use
And to
elastic
go
at this point just to gather
to
it,
keep going that
or if
way.
you want to pleat and still use
So
elastic, both will still
I
work
will
fine. But I do not have
go
elastic, so
this
I just
way,
have to pleat it to my
then come back
round
this
sleeve, which
way
is 10 inches,
and fold
and
this way.
that's what I'm doing. I continue
So what I must
pleating.
have after pleating must be
Then
10
when
inches.
pleating,
So
make sure
let's see,
that
what do I have here?
is a key split so that to
Okay.
give you that
Okay,
pop
I've
out
pleated the
effect. I
sleeve
don't know
part.
if
You can see
you
it
get
now.
what I mean by
So
the pop
I'm
out
just
effect,
going to
like
fold
the
here
flame, the part,
and
the hem of
measure
the
my
sleeve
round
coming out
sleeve,
that
which
way.
is 10
So
inches.
now I've pleated, I will take my measuring tape
My round
to
sleeve around
confirm
that part is
if I
10
have up to
inches,
10. So I
so
have
which
more
is
than
5.
10. I'm going
Then
to
I'll
use
just
3
mark
inches for
5
the
here.
sewing allowance.
Then
So now I'm done pleating.
I'll
I'll
come
just
here and
measure
measure
my
my bust. My
sleeve.
bust
You
is
see the way. So I said I have 10 inches for my round sleeve.
36 divided by
So I'll
2,
measure that
that's
10 inches,
18. So I'll mention
which
18.
is 5. 10
I'll
divided by
mention
2
what I
is
have
5.
here, then I'll
Then
minus
I'll
18.
come down
So I'm
my
having
bust,
21 here,
arrange the
minus
fabric
18,
very well,
that's
and measure,
3
take my bust
inches. So
measurement.
for me, I'm going
My
to take
bust measurement is
1.5 inches
36
as
divided
my
by 2. That gives us
sewing allowance.
18. So when I
Then on
took
my
this
waist
measurement, I
too,
was having
don't forget
21.
that my waist
That's
is
so this is
34. 34 divided by 2,
21.
that's
So I will say
17.
21
So I'll
minus
mention what I have here. I
18,
have
which
21.
is 3 inches.
And say I have
Then 3
21 here.
inches
So
divided by 2, because
21
I have two
minus
sides,
70 will give me
is
3 inches. So
1.5. So I'll
minus,
take
I'll
1.5
just take
measurement from this
1.5
side,
here. So
1.5
this is
measurement from the
1.5.
other
Same
side
thing
too. So
for the other
I'll
side
arrange
too.
very well. Then I come to the waist also, take the total measurement of the
Just
waist.
measure
I'm
1.5
having
and
20 there, and
1.5 here.
my waist is 34 divided by 2,
Then
that's 17. So
I'll just
20
connect my
20 minus
sleeve
17 is
to it
3,
like this.
divided by 2, 1.5. So I
Then
use 1.5 there. Same thing I did for the right side, I'm
I'll
also
come
doing it
back
for the
and
left
show us.
side.
At this
And the
point, I'm supposed to add
1.5 that
elastic
remains, I'll
here,
put
but
it
I
on
don't
the
have
left side.
elastic. That's why I'm using my exact measurement. If you have elastic,
I
just
put
add
1.5.
elastic to it. It will still help you to fold it more. Okay, now yeah, I'm done sewing both sides. You can see. So I'll just flip it over and let us see how it looks like. Our dress is getting ready and looking pretty. Okay, so now the next step is to attach our peplum on it. The peplum, I've already joined the down part that I cut away. The down part that wasn't long enough, I've already joined it. Let me show us. Here, I already joined it here at this part. You can see, and I've folded the hem. So I'll join it off camera. So we are going to take our peplum, then we start attaching it to it, waist to waist. So it's going to be like this from here, here, till we get to the end. I'm having excess in this peplum. I have excess. So when you're cutting for flair, you don't have excess. Don't add any allowance to the waist, because it's going to give you extra excess because of the folding. So this excess I'm having, I'm going to pleat it on my dart area at the back. It's not going to be at the front, it's going to be on my dart. I'm going to pleat it on the dart. So after sewing the lining to this side, I will turn it over and sew. After sewing the material here, I will turn it over and sew lining, straight lining. I'll cut a lining, I'll sew it to it. You can decide to cut your lining as a line, or you can just cut it straight. So but this, I'm going to just cut a straight line and then attach it to this. So if I attach this fabric at the front, the lining is going to be at the back like this. I'm going to start sewing the lining, and I'll be pleating it as I'm sewing. Pleat, sew, pleat, sew, pleat, sew, pleat, till I get to the end. So yeah, I've attached the down part. I've put some little gathers around here so that the excess will not be wasted, and then I've added the lining. I cover it up with the lining this way. So this is the inside. So now I'm going to close it up like this. Hold this part together. And ensure that the two lines are together like this. Then so I'm going to sew down like this with the line. So I'm going to start sewing from here, then I'll sew down to the hem here, then I'll fix the zipper up here. I'm going to put zipper. Then we are done.